Max was a curious mathematician who loved solving puzzles and exploring the mysteries of numbers. He spent most of his days at his desk, scribbling formulas on a giant chalkboard, trying to understand one of the greatest mysteries of all, infinity. How could something go on forever? And what would happen if it did? One rainy afternoon, Max had an idea. What if infinity isn't just a number? He wondered aloud. What if it's a doorway to something bigger? He grabbed his notebook and began writing down a wild theory, a theory that might just change everything. Max worked day and night, pushing the boundaries of mathematics. He imagined a world where mathematical concepts, numbers, shapes, and equations, weren't just on paper, but could come to life. Finally, after weeks of hard work, Max invented a machine that could prove his theory. It looked like a large, shimmering prism filled with glowing symbols. He took a deep breath, flipped the switch, and the machine began to hum. Suddenly, a bright light surrounded him, and in a flash, Max found himself in a place that looked nothing like the world he knew. He was standing in a land where math had come alive. The sky above was filled with floating numbers and symbols, like constellations. He saw giant triangles walking through the clouds, circles bouncing along the ground, and squares marching in neat lines. Even the ground beneath his feet seemed to pulse with mathematical patterns. Max was amazed. "I've entered a parallel universe where math is real," he exclaimed. As he wandered through this strange land, Max encountered some unusual creatures. He met Pi, a wise, round figure who had an endless, never-ending tail that wrapped around him like a spiral. "Hello, Max," Pi said with a smile. "I've been expecting you." "Expecting me?" Max asked, puzzled. "Yes," Pi replied. "You've unlocked the door to our world. Here, your theory of infinity is more than just numbers, it's a way of life." Max and Pi traveled together, exploring this new world. They visited the Infinity Forest, where the trees stretched endlessly in every direction, with no beginning and no end. They crossed the Paradox River, which flowed both forwards and backwards at the same time. They even climbed the Tower of Zero, a tall structure that disappeared into nothingness at the top. But the most mind-bending moment came when Max met Euler, a brilliant mathematician who lived in the center of the universe. "Max," Euler said, "your journey has just begun. You've only scratched the surface of what infinity can do. It can lead you to worlds beyond your imagination." With a wave of his hand, Euler opened a portal back to Max's world. "Take this knowledge with you," Euler said, "and remember, infinity is everywhere, and it's only as real as you believe it to be." Max stepped back into his own world, still in awe of the adventures he'd had. As he looked at his chalkboard filled with numbers, he smiled. Now, he knew that anything was possible, even in the world of math.